Hi folks, Vipin here. I'm always asked by my students when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to making a career, degrees, post-graduations, all that. What I wanted to make it clear is doing all that is the easy part. But what is the most challenging one would be how you make a name for yourself. How do you make a brand for yourself? And now, let me tell you this in advance, the journey will not be easy, but here is more or less a crude guide to it. Now, I'll make a disclaimer right here. The method I tell you may not necessarily work out for you. Okay, this is just from experience, this is just from talking to friends, and this is something which I've learnt from all that. So let me go about introducing the topic and we'll proceed from that. What is a brand in reference to yourself? It means to be recognized by society for your work. Now, I've been in teaching for about 5 years now, and only recently did I actually start to get recognition for my work. Now, that's just like for everyone else. You finish a course, you finish a degree, you don't really expect recognition right away. Now, you always hear people say that, okay, finish your chartered accounting, finish your engineering. As soon as you're done, your life is settled. According to me, your life is settled when society recognizes to who you actually are. Now, I have a long way to go for that. My work is only being recognized by a few thousand students. There is a big audience who are yet to come to know who I actually am. So, get recognition from society. Then, being creative. When it comes to building a brand image for yourself, you need to be creative. How do you go about being creative? One simple way to do that would be to hang out with people who are already creative. Meet artists, meet musicians. Meet these people and you will actually see how big the world actually is. Now, one thing I actually learned about creativity would be when I visited Comic-Con. The first time I visited Comic-Con and I saw stalls like Who's Inc., I saw stalls like Graphic Curry, met artists like Abhijit Kini, R.E. Jayaprakash. I was blown away by the kind of work that these people are into and the extent of human imagination. Believe me, only when you meet artists you actually understand how far the human imagination can actually reach. Then, be unique. One way to be unique would be to do some things which make you unique. Now, I'm not saying that you should go commit a crime so that you get recognition, but do something unique. Like in my field, I got recognition only because I don't go about giving notes in class like how most of the other teachers go about doing. I always tell my students, go to my website vipinmks.com and you'll be able to find my notes there. I also started to learn to be creative and unique in my writing by incorporating concepts from the Bhagavad Gita into the modern concepts of management, in comparing with pop culture, all that. Now, that is what made my work gain that popularity. I started to be unique. I started to interlink concepts, stuff which other teachers I've never seen them do. Then distinguish yourself from the rest in the rat race. Now, I always hear people say be ahead in the rat race. Now, that becomes a bit of a problem because you are a rat, and being a rat is not something which is considered a very positive thing. So, how do you stay ahead? By being unique, by doing stuff differently. Now, I don't really have a lot of respect for people who do well in their academics because I feel that they've wasted a big part of their lives. One way you can be unique is to come out of the rat race. Do something which is fun. Do something which is intelligent. Now, I had one of these cousins who dropped out of engineering and took up animation. Believe me, once he broke that rule, that status quo that everyone should be an engineer, everyone should be a doctor, and as soon as he broke that rule and he started to do something he liked, I have never seen him more happier. That's one way you actually come out of that rat race, or rather stay ahead in that race. Then one thing I can ask students is, when non-living entities, when businesses can be creative, when businesses can be unique, when businesses can make a brand image for themselves, why can't you? Now, this is an example of a simple product, a hat, and the company has made such a wonderful impact by showing their product. A hat can make a difference by comparing Adolf Hitler and Charlie Chaplin. Now, that advertisement didn't really take a large amount of time to actually make, but the message that that advertisement conveys is going to last a lifetime. Now, that is something which students should be capable of doing. The work that you do, the impact that you have on society, the brand image that you build for yourself should be everlasting. Then, how do you go about doing it? Like I said, there is no clearly defined route. I mostly work on trial and error, and I learn a lot through trial and error. I learn a lot by meeting a lot of interesting people. I learn a lot by meeting people who many people don't really consider educated. Like I always tell this, I learned a lot about the meat industry by asking the butcher in Street Chicken Center in Tata Silk Farm. I learned a lot about variable cost management by speaking to Bakery World owner in the previous college where I worked. There's a small bakery. The owner there, I ended up asking him a few concepts when it comes to his production management, and I learned a great deal about variable cost. So I have really no clear picture as to how I go about doing the work that I do. Trial and error is one way to go about doing it. Taking risks is also one way to go about doing it. Then there are some things which you can do even though there is no clear route. There is no limit to what you can actually achieve. Now, I thought that okay, I can only make notes for commerce students. I decided to branch out and do other things as well. Take up school, start making videos, try to come out with educational cartoons rather. This is something where when it comes to human creativity, there is really no limit. There's a wonderful concept by the Japanese called Kaizen. And Kaizen says that okay, there is no limit to your development, there is no limit to your improvement. The only limit you could say would be your physical capabilities, but it's the human brain. There really is no limit according to my point of view. Who knows, I might be making videos now. In the future I might actually go about making podcasts, I might have interactive videos. That's something that's very much possible. So there really is no limit to human creativity. Learn from failure. Now, I decided to do a satire news website and it didn't do so well. So what did I learn from that? I learned that I am good at humor when it comes to putting up short one-liners or two-liners. I am not so good when it comes to writing an entirely lengthy, funny article. So this is something that I've learned. So when I actually go about putting up a funny message on Facebook, I don't write an entire paragraph, I just put one or two lines. Now this is something that I've learned from actually failing in a previous venture. I realized I'm not good at something, so chuck the whole thing aside. I realized that okay, there is something that I'm actually good at. Let me focus on developing what I'm actually good at. That is one very good way to go about building a brand for yourself. And one thing which I tell people is, when it comes to building a brand for yourself, when it comes to learning and reading, please don't go about buying motivational books. I find it very, very sad when I see people read such books. The reason being, what worked out for one person may not really work out for you. So I really don't see why you should learn from others when it comes to their success story. You should build a success story upon yourself, because if you look at the path which Shah Rukh Khan took or Kareena Kapoor took in the film industry, that path is not going to work out for everybody. And if they go about writing a book saying that this is what we did, that's not going to help out a person like me. That's not going to help out most of the students whom I know. So reading motivational books is not really a very sensible thing to do. I suggest that you go about reading other books, like ones written by, say, Stephen King, books written by, say, Jeffrey Archer, Frederick Forsyth. These guys write some really intelligent books. Although you don't really feel motivated once you finish reading those books, you learn a lot in terms of imagination, in terms of creativity. It really broadens your horizon of thinking once you start reading such books. Oh, and not to forget George R.R. Martin as well. Read such books rather than motivational stuff like this. Then accept these beforehand. The journey is never easy. You will say it's not easy because you will come out of your comfort zone, and most people don't like to come out of their comfort zone. But like the caption says, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. Believe me, all those years of actually being in this field, there is a lot to learn, and finally you actually realize how much it is actually worth. The respect that you get from people, the admiration that you get from your peers, it's just overwhelming when you come across all that. And you're able to do that only once you get some name and fame upon the work that you've done. And like I said, doing a degree, doing a post-graduation is the easy part. What you do with yourself, the image that you make out of yourself, that is the hard part. Don't expect that it's going to happen overnight. Don't expect it's going to happen at the end of the year. There is a lot of work that you need to put in for yourself, and that's how you go about building a brand for yourself. And of course, there is a lot of dirty work to be done. And when I say dirty work to be done, I mean mostly coming out of your comfort zone. It's an inner struggle, believe me, to come out of your comfort zone and to actually do something different. When I was working in Infosys, I had a salary of around 15,000 per month. But once I shifted my job to a college, my salary dropped to about 4,000 per month. Now that is what I mean by dirty work that I had to do. That is, I tell my brain and convince myself that even though you're getting paid less, you are doing what you actually care about and what you're passionate about. So that's the inner struggle which I refer to as dirty work. So I hope you learned something when it comes to building a brand for yourself. If you have any queries, do leave them in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Bye.